Hey guys, Paul from Ashen. It is new comic book day for the week of July 1st, and we're going to get started right now. This episode brought to you by shirts. We have new shirts. We have new stuff. This is me. This is like actually me. So buy me with a dinosaur hat on my head.
Hey guys, Tim from Capes and Scowls, from Team Ashen, from the comic book store, from your dreams. That's not true. Don't dream about me. Let's talk about some trades. We've got The Mystery of Collinwood. This is a novel, actually, based off of Dark Shadows. Old school Dark Shadows at that. It's a novel, like a book, with words and everything. It's pretty cool. Remember those words?
Yeah.
Paul remembers. We have
Dark Shadows too. It was really good.
Yeah, Dark Shadows was cool. Not the remake. Let's not talk about. Let's not do. Yeah. Unprecedented. This definitely doesn't look like a pro. Sorry, I'm laughing at the picture on the back. It's really funny, is all I'm saying. Political satire is your thing. You have that. Dawn of X, Volume 6. Why? Why, Marvel? Please stop doing this. Don't make this a thing. Nobody follow them. Don't do it, DC or anybody else. I don't like it.
I don't like it either.
Excalibur, Volume 1. This is the correct way to read a story. You get all the issues and the story in one. I just don't like this Dawn of X crap. You know what I'm saying? Paul, you know? I'm just trying to bother Paul while he reads. Isola, Volume 2. This is the one with that cool blue tiger. That reminds me of He-Man. Firepower. Paul's going to tell you more about Firepower later, aren't you, Paul?
Yep.
And listen to what Paul has to say. It's important. And you should check out Volume 1 of Firepower by Kirkman. You love Kirkman. You love him so much. And then we've got Batman Arkham Asylum. Is this the old one? I don't know what this is. It looks like the old one. Boy, it's a new version of Batman Arkham Asylum. If you've never read it, get on it. And finally, we have Hellboy and the BPRD, The Beast of Vargu, and others. This is just a smattering of Hellboy stories. And pretty good mix. Who doesn't love Hellboy? I mean, maybe not that one movie, but like, this is really good.
All right. This is another really, really, really short week. So as a result, we had to really kind of dig down. For the first time ever, we don't have a Marvel or a DC book because there wasn't a Marvel or DC book that came out this week. So everything is indie. So if you've ever wanted to find indie stuff, this is your week for the most part. Some of these books are just not good, though. That brings us to Protector, issue number 4. I'd imagine a lot has happened in the last 2 issues. I read the very first issue and I was okay with it. The art, to me, is horrendous. I can't handle the art. And it gets to the point where it actually becomes very distracting to me, that I can't focus on the story. And the story is incredibly dependent on you reading the previous issues. So because I haven't read what has come before, I had no idea what was going on. And as a result, it's tough for me to judge this book based on the information I have. So if you've been reading Protector, I'm assuming you probably like it. It had an interesting premise to begin with, and that seems to have really skewed or strayed very far. There's not a lot of dialogue in this book, and that also doesn't help a lot of things. Everything seems very disjointed to me. So, yeah, if you haven't been reading Protector, definitely don't pick it up. It's just not, it's not great to me. So, you might like it, but I don't.
All right, first up, we have The Boys, Dear Becky, number 2. Again, if you didn't read the whole series, you're going to want to read the whole series before you dive into this. It is a sequel taking place 12 years after the end of the series. And it's pretty good, but man, it's a slow burn. I have a feeling I'm going to really like this as a whole after the fact. It's one of those things that, like, when you binge it, it's fantastic, but when it comes out in issues, it's a little much. But there are some great things here, especially the flashback with Butcher interrogating a soup. And it just kind of has a weird storyline going on here, but I'm very curious to see ultimately what happens. They got their hooks in me. It's not blowing my brain. It's not blowing my mind, but I think we'll get there.
All America Comix. Just read America Chavez in Marvel. This is literally America Chavez. Right down to they have their own Avengers. And I mean, they're drawn exactly like the Avengers. You can very clearly find a Captain America, Colonel Free, a WMD man who is clearly Iron Man, and a Thor who is Thor, and the Vision's the Wraith. It's okay. It's a bit woke. The character, most of the dialogue is the character's internal monologue, which is also her Instagram tags and her Facebook tags and her Twitter tags. And it just gets a little irritating at some points. Is there a story here? You have America Chavez. In this case, her name is America Vasquez. Literally the same character who can travel different dimensions, near invulnerable, fly, all that stuff. While fighting their version of Doctor Doom, coming home, she stumbles out of her portal into this greater mystery of what the universe is. If you've read America Chavez, probably read this book. If you haven't read it, I mean, I'm sure there's something in here to read, something in here to pick up. I just wasn't impressed because I was literally reading a book that I've already read. Very clearly reading a book that I've already read. So, yeah, it's up to you.
Next up, we have Nailbiter Returns. Number 2. I read issue 1. I really enjoyed it. I said, well, it's a light week. Let's check out issue 2. And I still really liked it. You get a little bit more of an idea what's going on with all these old serial killers returning. You see some really gruesome stuff in this. Very gruesome stuff. The Nailbiter is still imprisoned, and you have his daughter trying to figure out what's going on with him. Could he be responsible for the disappearance of her mother? And it just goes some dark places you wouldn't really expect. This book is creepy. If you like horror, you should probably be reading this, but it does have some cringy moments for sure. From a gross, violent horror standpoint. It's a good book. Check it out.
But Paul, you seem down. You trashed 2 books. Well, I didn't trash 2 books, but I wasn't a big fan of 2 books. However, I do have a pick of the week, and this pick is Firepower, issue number 1. This book was awesome. So here's an interesting concept. This book was actually supposed to come out during Free Comic Book Day. There is a trade out for Firepower. That trade is a completely different story from what's going on here. Firepower is about a Chinese-American person who is adopted by 2 white people. Kind of goes through his entire life assuming nothing in St. Louis. Comes to find out that he has a greater destiny in China and has to learn the ways of firepower, which is the ancient art of fireball throwing, which sounds amazing. The prelude is actually how he came to learn all of this information. This book takes place 15 years after that trade. So, picking up the trade will give you nothing about what's going on here, as this is 15 years in the future, and our main character has a new life, a wife, kids, and is slowly being dragged back into that life. The art is pretty fun. The banter is really, really interesting between the father and his daughter. I was hooked from the very beginning. It was a really interesting book. It was a slow pace because you weren't sure what was going on at the beginning, and then you kind of get that gist of what's going on. And this was a fun read. This is definitely a fun read, and it's free. So, I mean, even if you weren't sure, it's a free book. Just come pick it up. Like, you literally risk nothing by coming to pick up this book. But it's a great book. It's a great read. I'm already on board. And I'm not with that with every Kirkman book. I mean, Invincible, Oblivion Song, and now this. I mean, I didn't read Walking Dead. I didn't read Outcast. But yeah, this is amazing. You should definitely be picking this up. So, yeah, Firepower. Grab it.
All right, it's time for my pick of the week. Paul, do you know what my pick of the week is?
No.
You should.
I mean, I got it. Okay, now I know.
Come on. I told you I was going to read this one.
I know you were going to read it, but I didn't read the other ones.
You suck.
You think I don't? I'm not paying attention.
God, he wants so much attention from me, and he just can't give me just a little bit of his time.
You
This
want my
guy.
attention when I'm reading. That's the only time you want it.
That's
when
true.
When it's open and there.
Oh, you give me too much.
When I'm emotionally available, you shut me down. That's what it is.
Correct. My pick of the week is a Walking Dead one-shot called Negan Lives. Basically, Kirkman's like, hey, you want to know what happened to Negan? Here it is. If you enjoyed The Walking Dead, you must read this. It's going to tell you what happened to Negan. I don't want to go too involved in it. It's not a super long story. I don't want to give away too many points. Just know it takes place more or less with the last issue of Walking Dead. It's kind of that time frame. And it is very interesting to see how Negan is. I enjoyed it. I think it added a lot. And make sure when you're done the story to read the letters page section where there's a really cool explanation on how they decided what to do with Negan. I really liked it. And I think you just need to read it. If you're a Walking Dead person, this is for you. All right, that's the end of the video. Thank you for making it to the end of the video. I'm always so proud of all of you. When you get to the end, it's where you should naturally end. Don't be clicking around. It's just lame, right, Paul?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, don't be clicking around. Just put up with Paul when he talks, like I do.
What do you put up
and
with
then
me?
and then you get my reviews. It's great.
What do you mean put up with me?
I always put up with you. It's great.
But like,
That's our relationship.
you just put up with me?
I mean, we're friends.
It doesn't sound like friends.
It is. Sometimes you gotta tolerate your friends.
That just seems wrong.
Well, I didn't invent friendship.
Well, yeah, I knew you didn't invent friendship. It doesn't mean that friendship can't evolve.
Yeah. Well, how long have we been doing this?
Well, 4 years now?
4 years? I guess it takes 5.
You moved the goalpost so far.
What? That's not that far. We already got 4 in the bank.
You realize like 5 is like the end of this month, right?
No.
Yeah.
Well, I'll be friendlier then.
Because yeah, this
And you're gonna be like, I want Snooty Tim back.
end of July is when you're 5 years.
5 years. Everybody, thank you for sticking around for 5 years.
I think it's 5 or 4.
4?
Starting on 5. I don't know.
Paul's
it's
a
been so
liar.
long.
This is why I can't
I have to
commit
go
to
back.
this
I
friendship,
have to go
okay?
back.
This is the kind of crap I'm talking about,
I need
okay?
to go back and check.
Yeah, you need to. It's been...
No, it's got to be 5.
It doesn't have to be.
It has to be. You know why? You know how I can tell? And I'm not trying to get political or anything.
He's getting
but
very political.
We were doing this before Trump became a thing. Because I remember...
Trump's been a thing for many years.
I'm talking about a president. That thing.
Oh, that thing.
Yes.
That thing he did when he was our president?
Yeah, so he wasn't president when we started this.
Thanks,
Because I
Obama.
very clearly remember talking to Lydia about it.
All right, this explanation is way too long for our outro, Paul.
I know, but I'm just trying to make...
Stay with me. It's
going
gonna be
trying to
okay.
piece this through.
Let's not.
So yeah, it's 5 years.
Listen,
we're
who
5
cares
years.
about anything Paul's saying? Thank you.
We just went through all of this.
Thank you for checking out the video and getting to the end. Again, that's where you should get. Stop clicking around. Stop skipping Paul. Paul has thoughts sometimes and valid things. We're not doing cons because, of course, cons aren't happening right now, but you could still enjoy Paul without me, if that's possible. It's on his Twitch. Paul, you Twitch. He
Team
twitches. Yeah, Team Ashen. He does twitchy things. There's that serial killer game he likes to play.
Dead by Daylight.
Dead by Daylight. You're a serial killer or you're a survivor, and you got to like turn on farm equipment and run through some tall grass. I don't know. It's a thing you can do.
I mean, yeah, specific level.
Yeah, he likes that one. That's the only one I've seen.
I actually don't like that level.
He loves it. Go watch him run around a cornfield. And then my podcast, Capes and Scowls, right? I don't have a lot of content up because I just can't because COVID. But movie reviews are always going up every week. Movie reviews. Paul, you like movies?
Yeah.
I talk about movies. You know what we just reviewed?
What?
In the Tall Grass. That's a really good segue there.
No idea what that movie is.
It's about people running through some really tall grass in a farm kind of thing.
Are they being chased by killers?
Kind of.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe I'll check it out.
No, don't.
Oh.
Well, check out my review. But don't check out the movie. It's on
Okay.
Netflix if you want to check out the movie. This is the longest outro ever. Okay. I don't care. I'm going to keep going. And there was something else I want. Oh, there's shirts. Look, there are shirts. You can get shirts. I don't want to like be like, hey, buy my shirt, because that's not who I am. But if you want to support,
But I'll be that guy. Hey,
yeah. So no wonder you're not selling any damn T-shirts. All right.
That's so messed up.
Look, there is a T-shirt coming involving one of our favorite catchphrases. So if you don't like the shirts now, if they don't speak to you, hold out. Hold on to that $20. How many extra shirts?
$23.99.
Just hold on to your wallet dearly in your hands and know it's coming. The one for you. Or don't buy any shirts and just turn this off. You probably already stopped. You were clicking around the whole time, weren't you?